Rappers are known for their lavish lifestyle that fascinates many. Flexing online and in music videos with money and supercars is part of their facade. The facade that definitely requires a lot of dough to upkeep. But if you don't have any money to blow, how can you maintain appearances? Some rappers fake their wealth just to fill up their name in the modern rap game, but it's not always convincing. So let's have a look at rappers who have been caught fake flexing. First up is Curtis James Jackson II, otherwise known as 50 Cent. 50 Cent made news in 2016 when he posted a photo posing with a stack of cash on his Instagram that attracted the attention of creditors as well as the bankruptcy court. It contradicted his filing for bankruptcy a year prior when he was handed a bill for $5 million in damages. It all resulted in him being called by the bankruptcy judge, and that's when it came to light that the dollar bills were fake, or rather prop money, as 50 Cent lawyer termed them. So next time if you see any rapper flexing the dollar bills, chances are that they're just faux. When a penthouse turns out to be just an Airbnb. Soulja Boy made a big name for himself when his debut single peaked at #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100. But in 2016, he made news for a completely different reason. Soulja Boy posted a video on his social media giving a tour of a lavish $6 million penthouse that he claimed he had purchased. But it turns out that he didn't purchase it at all. A few nosy fans did some research and found the home listed as an Airbnb rental for a hefty $895 a night. And no, it doesn't stop here. Soulja Boy said that the reason the penthouse was on Airbnb was because he listed it there and forgot to take the listing down, which later emerged as a lie too, and that too by the home's listing agents. It came to light that the home's owners were looking for buyers, so if Soulja Boy truly wanted it, he could have bought it. Next up is Bow Wow, whose plan to wow people completely backfired. In 2017, Bow Wow, formerly known as Little Bow Wow, posted a picture of a private jet to his Instagram, insinuating that he was boarding it. Not long after it was uploaded, a user posted a picture of Bow Wow on a commercial airline alongside fellow passengers. Upon some more digging, it turned out that, like the plane, the photo wasn't his either. A reverse image search exposed that the image was taken from the website of an executive group transportation company located in Florida. The one good thing that came out of it was the hashtag Bow Wow Challenge, where users would post two side-by-side photos, one illustrating their lavish lifestyles and the other depicting the reality. Now, let's tell you about Lil Yachty. You know someone's faking being rich when they go above and beyond to prove that they are. That's the story of Lil Yachty, or the rapper who tried way too hard to convince us that he's worth millions. In fact, his exact words were, "I'm genuinely near and dear, truly rich, and that these other rappers are not rich." Even though Lil Yachty has about $8 million to his name right now as a 20-year-old, he hasn't always been as rich as he acts. In fact, he openly admits to making some huge mistakes when it comes to money. One time, he went to Atlantic City with a whole group of rappers and blew over more money than he actually had. Lil Yachty made his name in the industry with his connections to some big people, but he wasn't born rolling in dollars like he said he was. And get this guy has Buck in his name because he doesn't even have a dollar. Yep, we're talking about Young Buck. The IRS weren't playing when they said this rapper owed them thousands of dollars in back taxes. In fact, NPR said that agents raided Young Buck's house and had to take away everything of value. And if you're wondering, that includes his white leather dining chairs, watches, tattoo kit, and even his fridge. In a very public legal feud, the rapper later claimed that they also took things they shouldn't have, like his work equipment or kids' toys. But of course, the IRS denied these accusations. The plan was to auction off everything he owned so he could pay back all the debt to his name. Now, we might be getting ahead of ourselves if we blame the entire tax issue on Young Buck. There were some big miscommunications between his lawyer and business manager, the guy who was supposed to be handling money. But of course, taxes weren't this rapper's only problem. He's been spending a lot more money than he owns just to come off as rich. And get this, 22 creditors submitted claims that Young Buck owned them a total of $11.5 million. That's a heck of a ton of money. He even tried to hide a public appearance fee that he got right in the middle of his bankruptcy case. Even though he wired the money off to an undisclosed bank account, Young Buck's filing still went through. And that's when we concluded all these rappers wearing diamond rings and gold chains are probably buying them with cash they don't have. Next up on the broke rappers list, we've got Nas. Let's take a moment to look at Nas's life. He had a successful career, made it on the Billboard Hot 100 chart about 24 times, and married a fellow artist named Khalees. Things seem to be pretty on track, don't they? Well, here's the thing. They went south just as quick. Nas married Khalees in 2000 2005, but she was already filing for divorce by 2009 while pregnant with their first baby. Whatever happened in their marriage, Nas's absolutely terrible financial condition became very clear during the divorce. In fact, when the couple was trying to settle on a child support amount, Nas said he owed his managers $700,000 and the IRS a couple $1,000,000. In the end, they agreed that the rapper would pay over $50,000 per month in support and owed Khalees about $300,000 in back child support because he wasn't fulfilling his obligations even when they were married. And that, what we heard, sounded nearly impossible. Nas said he couldn't pay the amount because it would bankrupt him. Now, this is coming from the guy who comes off as the ultra-rich billionaire and was never shying away from showing it either. And get this, Nas's lawyer said he made substantially less than $150,000 his wife said he makes in a month. Then, much later in 2012, he even lost his home in Georgia because he wasn't paying the mortgage. And if that wasn't enough, then he wasn't paying either of his exes any child support. Talk about being broke. And hey, let's not forget Trick Daddy from the Miami rap scene. He was the self-styled thug who specialized in rapping about thug life and thug issues. That's all his music was about. His album-length sagas had hits like Thugs Are Us, Thug Matrimony, and Thug Holiday. Since his music was routinely at the top of the charts, millions of dollars were pouring in his way. But just a few years later, Trick Daddy wasn't all about that cash the way he once was. According to some court filings, the rapper only reported $75,000 of earnings in 2016 and only a couple thousand in the first few months of 2017. Oh, and get this, that's also when he filed for bankruptcy. Like many other so-called rich rappers on this list, at that time, he admitted to having assets valued up to $500,000, but not a dollar in cash or in bank. He owed thousands of dollars on his mortgaged home, back taxes, and unpaid child support. Before we go, we should tell you that Tyga's broke too. Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about Kylie Jenner's ex-boyfriend, Tyga. This rapper had a really quick jump to fame when he first started dating Kylie. His career, however, didn't experience the same jump. His music wasn't making millions, and he wasn't ever running some super successful business empire like his girlfriend. Still, Tyga had to be part of the rich people lifestyle, despite being practically broke. He kept spending thousands of dollars on an infinite bank account. After the ultra-famous couple broke it off, Tyga went through some major financial troubles. It turns out the rapper had rented some luxurious mansions and then stopped paying rent on them. In fact, he was still living in those said mansions and still didn't have the cash to pay his bills. Tyga even got sued multiple times during all this. Now, some might say Tyga's back on track with his music career, finally looking up, but he's not fully back yet. At least, he learned a huge life lesson from all this. Don't act rich unless you've got millions sitting in your bank account. And that's a wrap for this video. Which rapper's broke life story surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Before you head out, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content like this. See you in the next one.